The first image in the ultra-trippy, animated Amazon Prime series Undone is of the show's protagonist, Elma Winograd Diaz, played by Rosa Salazar, crashing her car into a pole, followed by her daily routine as she explains the existential crisis that's been plaguing her life in the weeks leading up to her nearly fatal car accident.
I'm so bored of living. I wake up every morning in the same bed with the same person. I shower, brush my teeth, I get dressed.
The voiceover ends, revealing to the audience that Elma's in a bar talking to her sister. The depressing one-sided conversation switches from Elma to her sister Becca, who breaks the news that she's getting married. They proceed to get drunk, and the next scene cuts to Elma stumbling into her bed, waking up her boyfriend Sam in the wee hours of the morning. Elma makes it clear to him that she doesn't want anything to do with the predictable life, the big wedding, a picket fence, kids, and so on and so forth. The next day, Elma's disillusioned vibe is back, as she gets ready for her job. It gets so bad that she decides to break up with her boyfriend Sam. There's another scene of Elma getting drunk at the bar with her sister Becca. Elma slides on her sister's wedding ring and they order shots. They end up at Elma's empty boyfriendless house, playing Strip Truth or Dare with the bartender. Elma still has Becca's wedding ring on her finger as the bartender and Becca start to hook up. The next day, Elma's at church with her mom. When Becca comes in late, clearly hungover, both sisters go outside and get in a heated argument in front of the church.
Really fucking happy, and I wish that you would stop telling me what you think is best for me because I'm not you.
Okay.
You are so insanely self-involved. You don't even know all the things that are wrong with you.
Elma gets pissed and drives off in a fit of anger. In the midst of her road rage, an image of her dead father jumps out into the middle of the street, distracting her from the road, causing her to get into the car accident from the opening scene. In the beginning of episode 2, Elma's father sits in a chair next to her hospital bed as she fades in and out of reality, struggling to wake up from her coma. In Elma's delirious state, she is brought back to Halloween, when she was a young girl with her mother and sister. Her mom brings her home where her dad is reading a newspaper. Her father brings Elma back out trick-or-treating to a wealthy neighborhood. After getting an important call from work, Elma's father leaves her in the unfamiliar neighborhood, promising her he will be right back. The flashback cuts to Elma waking up from her coma to her worried mother in the hospital. While Elma is talking to her sister, she can see her father sitting on a chair at her side.
No. Well, partly.
What? Partly what?
Elma has no memory about the argument she had with her sister or breaking up with her boyfriend Sam. Her father points out that she is partly awake and partly dreaming, since she is seeing her visitors half in reality and half in a dream state. When Sam comes in to visit, he seems relieved that Elma doesn't remember breaking up with him. When Elma comes to the realization she's in a time loop, her reality shifts to a cafeteria where she is talking to her newspaper reading dead father.
The accident has shaken your temporal understanding of time and space and somehow given you the ability to see things in a nonlinear fashion, or is it all just some fever dream morphine drip head trauma type of thing?
Elma floats through beautiful imagery of space until she finds herself running through the hospital and into another version of herself, who is stressing out over what button to push on an elevator control panel filled with esoteric symbols. Her dad comes back and tries to explain everything.
You can communicate with me because the car accident, it kind of lifted a curtain. And I need you to be able to communicate with me. But now we have to develop your potential. You know, this is kind of a new way of hearing.
Suddenly, reality shifts, and Elma's back in the hospital, waking up from the coma again. This time, she decides to get up and run away, bringing her back to the strange elevator scene from the previous time loop. Elma's dad admits he caused the accident so she could help him figure out why he died.
That Halloween night that I left you, I wasn't in an accident, I was killed. With your ability to see what's really real, we can change what happened. But I need you to say yes.
Hearing this, she relives the pain of the night he died, when he left her in an unfamiliar neighborhood to be eventually brought home by a police officer. When Elma wakes up in the hospital next, she sucks it up, realizing she can alter the time loop and manages not to make any snarky comments to her mother and sister. Elma is mad at her father for not being there for her, as memories of the results of his absence flash across the screen. Elma's father tells her she needs to make a choice.
You could try something different. A life that doesn't follow a paint-by-numbers timeline, or any timeline at all. A life where anything can happen at any time.
Elma tries to go back to work, but her sense of time is still very disoriented, as she pops in and out of conscious reality, still caught between her dream state and her waking life. Elma's dad opens up a door to his past, showing her a scene of his life before he died.
Holy shit!
What's going on with you and your little teacher's pet here?
I feel like you're honing in on the wrong part of this. We're talking about rearranging the fundamentals of time.
Elma keeps on jumping in and out of fragmented time loops, while her dead dad tries to explain his research to her. Elma's dad brings her to their attic and gives her his old electronic blackjack game, in order to keep her anchored to the real world. The game helps Elma stay in the present moment, while raising red flags about her mental health to her loved ones at the same time. When Sam puts together that Becca slept with the bartender, Becca tells him not to say anything or she will tell Elma that she broke up with him before the accident and he's been pretending like it never happened. Elma's dad's lessons seem to pay off. When she is able to move time after she gains control over the moment, keys are tossed on her kitchen table. Like the ghost of Christmas past, Elma's father shows her the man he believes killed him.
American Freedom Corporation makes the world a more peaceful place.
You make weapons.
Weapons that end wars.
Dude, are you stupid? It's over. Just take your blood money and go.
Every time Elma cuts herself while chopping up a carrot, she is able to reverse time. She gains control of the time loop by taking her father's advice.
I need you to help me not have to play that game all the time.
It's all about your emotions. You need to feel them without letting them become you. You know, like the keys, try, but not try.
Elma transports herself to the moment she broke up with her boyfriend before the accident, uncovering the forgotten memory. In episode 5, Elma's dad is trying to show her more about his research and his revelations of her shamanic abilities due to her larger than usual brain scan. But her mind keeps on flashing back to the trust issues she needs to sort out with her boyfriend Sam. But her dad keeps forcing her back to their conversation. Elma's dad brings her to Mexico, where he first realized Elma and her grandmother have the supernatural gifts that might unlock the secrets behind space and time. Elma is having trouble focusing on the information her father is trying to deliver to her, which he believes will give her the power to control time at will. Elma sees a memory of Sam and how he had trouble fitting in when he first came to America, because of his Indian accent, and how Elma chose to get hearing implants, causing her to leave her deaf friends much like Sam had to leave his friends in India, making her realize why they get along so well in the first place.
I'm seeing my dead father because of my big brain ventricles, and he's training me to travel in time so I can save him from being murdered.
In episode 6, Sam tries to help Elma learn more about what really happened to her dad that fateful Halloween, and they find out that there was a break-in the night Elma's dad crashed into the ravine. They get the information about the night of the break-in from a security officer at the school.
I don't think it's the best idea to go meet up with some creepy dude who you think killed your dad.
Are you kidding? How can I not meet up with him?
I just want you to be okay.
And I will be.
I think the best thing to do now, for your own sake, is to stop looking.
Elma's late for Becca's wedding pictures, completely ruining her big day.
In which you present yourself in virginal white to the very man whose touch makes you recoil.
Alma?
Yeah, the one you so adore that the moment you got engaged to him, you ran off and fucked a bartender.
What's she talking about?
Elma's able to rewind time so not to ruin her sister's wedding, and her father tells her she's ready to alter time so he will have never died.
I can't move! Dad, help me! No! Help me, Dad!
Tell me everything. What did you see? We'll try again right away.
I have a wedding to go to, which you don't seem to care about.
She dances like the native woman explains to her outside when they are having a smoke, and dives through a mirror that she sees as a portal into the past. Elma's mother thinks her father was experimenting on Elma, and it turns out he was. Elma wants to know what happened and goes back in time in the back seat to watch her dad crashing him and his lab assistant off a cliff in a desperate fit of rage.
Can't the you now influence the him then? You're better now.
I don't think I'm strong enough.
Just try, but also not try. But try. Try to not try.
If this works, I can see you again.
Where?
You know where.
You're it.
We'll be in the cave together.
I always think if the witch dies when she gets wet, she must have to be real careful peeing.
That's very perceptive, that.
You gonna answer or what?
Are you kidding me? Take a work call?
She awakes at her work with a bump on her head, not realizing she threw herself into a mirror. Her boss fires her for endangering the daycare kids, and her boyfriend and her mother try to get psychiatric help for her. Elma takes her mother's keys and goes to Mexico to an ancient Mayan temple to see her dad come out of a cave like he promised. The series ends with the cliffhanger of Elma seeing something unbelievable come out of the cave.